There is a power hidden in the human voice, a power so profound that it can move armies, topple empires, and ignite revolutions. It is not the power of volume, nor the force of aggression, but the quiet, unshakable authority of words spoken with precision, clarity, and intent. Imagine, for a moment, a single voice rising above the chaos of a crowded room. Not shouting, not pleading, but speaking with such undeniable presence that the world seems to pause, just to listen. This is not magic. This is mastery. Wisdom seekers, you are about to uncover the secrets of this mastery. Secrets that have been guarded by the greatest minds in history. From the Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome to the modern-day thinkers who shape our world, the art of speaking with respect and authority has been a cornerstone of human influence. But this is not just about speaking. This is about transforming the way you are perceived, the way you are remembered, and the way you shape the world around you. Stoicism, the philosophy of resilience and inner strength, teaches us that true power lies not in external validation, but in the mastery of oneself. And yet, even the Stoics understood that the way we communicate, the way we wield our words, can either elevate us to greatness or reduce us to obscurity. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your words are the mirror of your soul, and today you will learn how to polish that mirror until it reflects nothing but respect, authority, and wisdom. But be warned, what you are about to discover is not for the faint of heart. This is not a collection of quick tips or superficial tricks. This is a deep dive into the art of communication, a journey that will challenge you to rethink everything you know about speaking, listening, and being heard. By the end of this video, you will possess the tools to command respect in any room, in any conversation, in any moment. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like, subscribe helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge. And leave a comment below and share your opinion on these strategies, or tell me which one resonates with you the most. Ready to unlock more wisdom? Let's get started. Strategy 1. Speak less, say more. Imagine yourself standing in a room filled with people. Conversations buzz like the hum of bees, voices overlapping in a chaotic symphony. Yet amidst this cacophony, one figure sits silently, observing. They've barely said a word, and yet somehow all attention keeps drifting toward them. Their silence is not absence, it's presence. When they finally do speak, their words carry an almost magnetic pull. Everyone leans in to hear what they have to say. This is not magic. It's not charisma gifted at birth. It's the mastery of speaking less while saying more. A skill so rare in a world consumed by noise that it instantly commands respect. The ancients understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher-emperor, believed in the sacredness of speech. If it is not right, do not do it, he wrote. If it is not true, do not say it. He wasn't just speaking of moral action, he was prescribing a way of life. To Aurelius, words were tools, and a wise man uses tools sparingly and with precision. In a world of constant chatter, the one who speaks sparingly stands apart. But why is this so effective? Consider this. Silence unsettles people. It creates space, a vacuum. And in the human mind, vacuums demand to be filled. The more you refrain from speaking unnecessarily, the more people feel compelled to notice you. They project power onto you because your silence suggests control, confidence, and the discipline to resist the frivolity of wasted words. But speaking less doesn't mean saying nothing. It means speaking with intent. Every word must carry weight, like a stone dropped into still water, creating ripples far beyond its size. To master this strategy, you must first train yourself to embrace silence. Most people fear it. Silence makes them uncomfortable, so they rush to fill it, often with meaningless noise. But the wise man understands that silence is not emptiness. It is potential. The key lies in pausing. The moment before you speak is like standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out over a vast landscape. It's a moment of reflection, a chance to measure your thoughts before they become words. The ancient orator Cicero was a master of this. His pauses during speeches weren't signs of hesitation. They were deliberate tools, creating tension and anticipation. People leaned forward, desperate to hear what would come next. You can create the same effect in your daily conversations. Resist the urge to fill every gap with words. Let others sit in the discomfort of silence. They will value what you say all the more when you finally break it. Speaking less also forces you to think more. The less you talk, the more time you have to listen, observe, and process. When you listen deeply, you gain insights that others miss. You begin to see the patterns in their words, the motivations behind their actions, and the unspoken truths they reveal without realizing it. And when you do speak, you'll find that your words are not just reactions, but carefully chosen responses that cut straight to the heart of the matter. But this isn't just about conversations. It's about how you carry yourself in the world. A man who speaks less radiates a quiet confidence. He does not seek to prove himself through endless explanations or boasts. He allows his actions to speak louder than his words. And when he does speak, his words amplify the strength of those actions. This is why we remember the speeches of great leaders, because they were not frequent, but they were profound. Think of the Stoics. Epictetus taught that we should avoid unnecessary conversation and focus instead on living virtuously. Nature gave us one tongue and two ears, he said, so we could hear twice as much as we speak. Every time you hold back from speaking without purpose, you are practicing a discipline that sharpens your mind and elevates your character. This strategy may seem simple, but it is not easy. The world will tempt you to speak. It will beg you to participate in its endless chatter, but the man who can resist this temptation, who can discipline his tongue and let his silence speak for him, will be respected, admired, and most importantly, heard. Strategy 2. Speak with precision and clarity. Now that you've begun to master the power of saying less, the next step is ensuring that when you do speak, your words cut through the noise like a blade. There is no surer way to command respect than to speak with precision and clarity. A man who speaks vaguely is like a cloud. He may appear large, but he casts no real shadow. A man who speaks with precision, however, is like a beam of sunlight piercing through the fog. His words illuminate. The great Stoic teacher Seneca once wrote, "When you speak, aim to deliver not words, but meaning." This is a philosophy that transcends time. Look around you. How often do people speak without truly saying anything? How often do their words meander, full of empty platitudes and half-formed thoughts? Such speech is forgettable. But a man who speaks with clarity is unforgettable. His words remain long after he has left the room. To achieve this, you must first master your thoughts. Speech is the outward reflection of the inner mind, and a chaotic mind produces chaotic words. The Stoics believed in the practice of self-reflection as a way to bring order to the mind. At the end of each day, they would review their thoughts and actions, identifying where they could improve. You must do the same if you wish to speak with clarity. Before you speak, ask yourself, what is my purpose in saying this? What do I want to achieve? What is the clearest way to express it? Precision requires simplicity. Complexity does not impress, it confuses. When your words are simple, they are accessible to everyone, yet powerful enough to resonate with anyone. Think of the timeless wisdom of Stoic principles. They are not wrapped in flowery language or buried under layers of intellectual jargon. They are clear, direct, and universal. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, wrote his meditations in plain language, not to impress scholars, but to remind himself of life's essential truths. But clarity also demands honesty. To speak with precision, you must speak truthfully. There is nothing more compelling than authenticity. When you speak from a place of truth, people feel it. Your words carry a conviction that cannot be faked. Even if they disagree with you, they will respect you because they know you are genuine. Precision is not just about what you say, but how you say it. Your tone, your pace, and even your body language all contribute to the clarity of your message. A rushed delivery can undermine even the most well-thought-out words. Take your time. Speak deliberately. Let your words land before moving on to the next point. And finally, practice brevity. To be precise is to be concise. This does not mean cutting your thoughts short. It means stripping them down to their essence. As Blaise Pascal once said, "I have made this letter longer than usual, because I have not had time to make it shorter." The same applies to speech. The more effort you put into refining your thoughts, the more impactful your words will be. To speak with precision and clarity is to respect the listener. It shows that you value their time and their attention, and in return, they will value you. They will listen, not because they have to, but because they want to. This is the hallmark of a man who commands respect, not through force or volume, but through the undeniable power of his words. When you combine the first two strategies, speaking less and saying more, and speaking with precision and clarity, you become a force to be reckoned with. Your words are no longer just sounds. They are tools of influence, carriers of wisdom, and markers of your character. The world is full of noise, but you will be the signal. Strategy 3. Speak with calm confidence. Picture a storm at sea. The waves crash violently, the wind howls, and the sky is painted with chaos. Amidst it all, a single lighthouse stands unmoved, casting its light steadily, guiding ships to safety. Now imagine that lighthouse as a person, the calmest figure in the room, steady and composed even when conversations grow heated or chaotic. That is the essence of speaking with calm confidence, a skill that immediately earns respect and influence. Confidence is not arrogance, nor is it loudness. True confidence is quiet. It does not seek validation, nor does it demand attention. It simply is. To speak with calm confidence is to embody this principle, to let your words flow from a place of inner peace and certainty. The Stoics often spoke of equanimity, the ability to remain unshaken by external events. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This same power applies to your speech. When you control your emotions, your words carry more weight. Imagine being in a heated debate. Most people, when challenged, raise their voices, speak faster, and let their emotions drive their responses. But the person who remains calm commands the room. Their composure is disarming, their measured words cutting through the noise like a blade. This is because calmness signals control. And control over oneself in the situation is inherently respected. To speak with calm confidence, you must first master your emotional state. This begins with self-awareness. When you feel your emotions rising, anger, frustration, anxiety, pause. Take a breath. The Stoics practiced a technique called premeditation malorum, or the premeditation of evils. They would mentally rehearse potential challenges and their responses to them. By preparing for adversity in advance, they were less likely to be thrown off balance when it occurred. You can apply this to your speech by anticipating difficult conversations and deciding beforehand how you will respond. Another crucial element is body language. Your posture, your gestures, and even your facial expressions communicate as much, if not more, than your words. A man who speaks with calm confidence does not fidget or slouch. He stands tall, maintains steady eye contact, and uses deliberate, controlled movements. His very presence reinforces his words, making him impossible to ignore. But calm confidence also requires trust in your knowledge. Nothing betrays insecurity faster than speaking on a subject you don't fully understand. The Stoics valued wisdom above all else, and they knew that true knowledge comes from humility and study. Epictetus said, "It is impossible to begin to learn that which one thinks one already knows." Before you speak, ensure that you have a solid foundation for what you are saying. When you know your subject deeply, your confidence will be unshakable and it will shine through in your words. Silence is another tool of the calm speaker. When you pause before responding, you not only give yourself time to gather your thoughts, but you also create an aura of deliberation. People will perceive you as someone who chooses their words carefully, someone whose words matter. This is a hallmark of respect. Finally, remember that calm confidence is not about always being right, it's about being grounded. Even when you don't know the answer to something, you can respond with grace. Admit your lack of knowledge honestly but without self-deprecation. For example, you might say, "That's an interesting question. I don't have the answer now, but I'd like to learn more about it." This kind of response shows both humility and self-assurance, qualities that draw people to you. When you speak with calm confidence, you become the lighthouse in the storm, a beacon of reason and stability. Others will naturally gravitate toward you, drawn by your steady presence and the respect your demeanor commands. Strategy 4. Use stories to illustrate your points. Let me take you back in time. It's ancient Greece, and the great philosopher Socrates is sitting in the agora, surrounded by curious minds. He's not lecturing in long-winded speeches or drowning his listeners in abstract concepts. Instead, he's telling stories, simple, vivid stories that illuminate profound truths. Why? Because Socrates understood something that modern psychology confirms. Humans are wired for stories. This brings us to our fourth strategy, using stories to illustrate your points. There is no better way to captivate an audience, hold their attention, and leave a lasting impression than by weaving your ideas into a narrative. Facts and logic engage the mind, but stories engage the heart, and it's the heart that moves people to action. Aristotle, in his work Rhetoric, spoke of three pillars of persuasion: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is your credibility, logos is your logic, and pathos is your emotional appeal. Stories are the perfect vehicle for pathos. They evoke emotion, create connection, and make abstract ideas tangible. A concept explained through a story becomes not just understood, but felt. Consider this. You're trying to explain the importance of perseverance. You could list statistics, quote famous figures, or present logical arguments. Or you could tell the story of a man who lost everything, rebuilt his life piece by piece, and achieved greatness through sheer determination. The story lingers in the listener's mind. It puts a face to the idea, making it relatable and memorable. But not all stories are created equal. To use this strategy effectively, your stories must be purposeful, concise, and relevant to your audience. The Stoics often used analogies and parables to convey their teachings. Seneca, for instance, would describe life as a journey across treacherous seas, encouraging his readers to steer their ship wisely amidst the storms of fate. These stories weren't just entertaining, they were lessons wrapped in metaphor. When crafting your own stories, start by identifying the key message you want to convey. What is the point you're trying to make? Once you're clear on this, think of a personal experience, historical event, or even a fictional scenario that illustrates this point. The story should have a clear beginning, middle, and end, with enough detail to draw the listener in, but not so much that it becomes tedious. Delivery is just as important as content. When telling a story, slow down. Use your voice to create atmosphere. Lower it for suspense, raise it for excitement. Use pauses to let key moments sink in. Paint a picture with your words, appealing to the senses. For example, instead of saying, "It was a tough day," you might say, "The rain hammered against the windows as I sat there, staring at the letter that had just shattered my plans." Such details pull people into the story, making them feel as though they're experiencing it alongside you. Stories also make you more relatable. They show your humanity, your struggles, and your triumphs. When you share a story about a mistake you made or a challenge you overcame, you build trust and connection. People respect not just your ideas, but the person behind them. One of the most powerful things about stories is their ability to inspire action. A well-told story doesn't just inform, it transforms. It plants a seed in the listener's mind, encouraging them to see the world or themselves in a new light. And when people feel inspired, they respect the person who sparked that inspiration. The power of stories is timeless. From the myths of ancient Greece, to the parables of the Bible, to the narratives we share today, stories shape how we see the world and each other. When you learn to speak through stories, you join the ranks of history's great communicators, earning not just attention, but respect. Strategy 5. Speak with purpose, not for validation. Wisdom seekers, let me ask you this. How many times have you spoken just to fill the silence? How many times have your words been shaped by the need to be liked, approved of, or validated? Think back. Perhaps it was a casual conversation where you felt the urge to prove yourself, or a heated debate where you couldn't bear to let the other person have the last word. In those moments, were you speaking to contribute or to be seen? Speaking with purpose is one of the most transformative shifts you can make. It's about stepping out of the endless cycle of seeking validation and stepping into the power of intentional communication. The Stoics, as always, provide a guiding light. Epictetus warned us, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Why? Because the pursuit of others' approval is a trap. The more you chase it, the more it eludes you, leaving you at the mercy of other people's opinions. When you speak with purpose, your words are not driven by ego, but by clarity and intent. This means you're not trying to impress anyone, nor are you speaking for the sake of being heard. Instead, you're focused on the impact of your words, the value they bring to the conversation, the insight they provide, or the solution they offer. To achieve this, you must first recognize the moments when you're speaking from a place of insecurity. This requires brutal self-awareness. Before you open your mouth, ask yourself, why am I saying this? Am I adding to the discussion, or am I seeking attention? Am I contributing wisdom, or am I trying to appear clever? This moment of reflection can save you from falling into the trap of empty words. When you free yourself from the need for validation, you become a different kind of speaker, one who is grounded and self-assured. You no longer feel the need to dominate a conversation or prove yourself through endless talking. Instead, you speak when it matters, and when you do, your words carry weight. People respect you because they sense that your focus is outward, on the topic, the problem, or the group, not inward on yourself. Purposeful speech is also about knowing when not to speak. There is immense power in withholding your words when they are not needed. The Stoics practiced this through the principle of restraint. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." This wisdom applies to all emotions. When you feel the urge to speak impulsively, whether out of anger, frustration, or insecurity, pause. Give yourself the gift of time. Often you'll find that what you wanted to say was not necessary, or that you can express it more thoughtfully after reflection. But purposeful speech is not limited to restraint. It also requires boldness when it matters most. There will be times when silence is not an option, when the situation demands that you speak up, even if it's uncomfortable. Speaking with purpose means having the courage to voice your truth, even when it's unpopular. It means standing firm in your convictions, without the need to shout them from the rooftops. Purposeful speech is steady and unwavering, like the roots of a great tree. And here's the paradox. The less you seek validation, the more respect you gain. People are drawn to those who don't chase approval because such individuals exude self-reliance and confidence. When your words are driven by purpose, not ego, they resonate deeply. They're remembered long after the conversation ends because they are free from the taint of insecurity. This strategy is a practice, not a destination. You will have moments of insecurity. You will catch yourself speaking for validation. That's okay. The key is to recognize it, recalibrate, and return to purpose. Each time you do, you strengthen your ability to speak with intent, clarity, and power. Strategy 6. Master the art of listening. Let's step away from speaking for a moment and talk about its quiet twin, listening. The ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." What he didn't say, but what is equally true, is that listening is the bridge between silence and speech. To speak so that people respect you, you must first learn to listen in a way that makes people feel respected. Listening is not just hearing words, it is understanding the person behind them. It is an act of generosity, a skill that is as rare as it is powerful. Most people listen to respond. They're already formulating their next argument before the other person is finished speaking. But the man who truly listens stands out. His presence is magnetic, his attention disarming. He makes the speaker feel seen, heard, and valued, and in return, they respect him. The Stoics were masters of listening because they understood that wisdom begins with observation. Epictetus taught his students to focus on what is within their control, and listening is one such thing. You cannot control what others say, but you can control how you receive it. When you listen deeply, you're not just absorbing information, you're building trust and rapport. But listening is more than passive silence. It's an active engagement with the speaker. To listen well, you must first clear your mind of distractions. This is harder than it sounds. Our modern world is full of noise, both external and internal. To truly listen, you must quiet your own thoughts and give your full attention to the person in front of you. This requires humility. As Socrates said, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. When you approach every conversation with the mindset that you have something to learn, you open yourself to new insights and perspectives. Body language plays a crucial role in listening. Your posture, eye contact, and facial expressions communicate your level of engagement. Lean slightly forward to show interest. Maintain steady but not overly intense eye contact. Nod subtly to indicate understanding. These small gestures signal to the speaker that you value what they are saying. But perhaps the most important aspect of listening is asking thoughtful questions. When you ask questions, you show that you are not only paying attention, but also genuinely interested in understanding the speaker's perspective. This deepens the conversation and allows you to connect on a more meaningful level. Questions like, "What led you to that conclusion?" or "How did that make you feel?" invite the speaker to open up, creating a dialogue that goes beyond surface-level exchanges. Listening also gives you a strategic advantage. The more you listen, the more you understand about the person, their motivations, and the dynamics of the situation. This knowledge allows you to respond more effectively when it's your turn to speak. It's no coincidence that some of history's greatest leaders were also great listeners. Abraham Lincoln, for example, was known for his ability to hear people out, even when he disagreed with them. His listening skills earned him respect and enabled him to navigate some of the most challenging moments in history. But listening is not just about others. It's also about yourself. When you listen deeply, you learn to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You begin to notice patterns in your speech, areas where you might be speaking impulsively or without purpose. This self-awareness allows you to refine your communication over time, making you a more effective and respected speaker. Mastering the art of listening transforms the way you interact with the world. It shifts your focus from trying to be heard to truly hearing others. And here's the irony. The better you listen, the more people want to hear what you have to say. Respect flows naturally toward the person who makes others feel respected, and listening is the simplest yet most profound way to achieve this. Strategy 7. Align your words with your actions. Wisdom seekers, think about this. How many times have you been disappointed by someone whose words didn't match their actions? Maybe it was a leader who promised change but delivered none, or a friend who said they'd be there for you, only to vanish when you needed them most. When words and actions don't align, respect evaporates, leaving behind only distrust. Now, flip the script. Imagine the person whose every word is backed by action. They say what they mean and mean what they say. If they make a promise, they fulfill it. If they speak of values, they live by them. This is the person whose words carry immense weight because their life itself is a testament to their truth. To speak so people respect you, you must embody this principle. Your words and actions must become one. The Stoics had a profound understanding of this concept. For them, philosophy wasn't just a set of ideas to ponder, it was a way of life. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." He believed that integrity, living in accordance with one's principles, was the foundation of true respect. And he lived by his words, ruling with fairness and humility, earning the admiration of both his allies and enemies. Why is alignment between words and actions so powerful? Because it breeds trust. When people see that you practice what you preach, they know they can rely on you. Your words are no longer just sounds, they become promises, commitments, and truths. This consistency builds a reputation that commands respect. But achieving this alignment is no easy task. It requires relentless honesty with yourself. You must constantly examine your words and ask, am I living up to what I say? If you speak of discipline, are you disciplined in your own life? If you preach kindness, do you treat others with compassion? This self-scrutiny can be uncomfortable, but it is essential. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Craving the respect of others without earning it through aligned action is a kind of poverty, a hollowness that can only be filled by integrity. This alignment also requires humility. There will be times when you fall short of your own standards. When this happens, admit your mistakes openly and take steps to correct them. This vulnerability doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. People respect those who can own their failures and strive to do better. They see such individuals as authentic and courageous, qualities that inspire admiration. Living in alignment also demands courage. There will be moments when staying true to your words comes at a cost, when it's easier to compromise your principles than to uphold them. In such moments, remember the Stoic belief in virtue as the highest good. Epictetus reminded his students, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To align your words with your actions is to master yourself, to choose integrity over convenience, even when it's difficult. Consider the power of a simple commitment. If you promise someone you'll meet them at a certain time and you arrive late, your words lose a fraction of their power. But if you consistently honor your commitments, no matter how small, people begin to trust you implicitly. This trust amplifies the impact of your words, making them resonate far more deeply than those of someone whose promises are unreliable. This principle also applies on a larger scale. If you speak about big dreams or ambitious goals, you must take tangible steps toward achieving them. Words without action are hollow, but words paired with action create momentum. They show people that you're not just a dreamer, but a doer, someone who turns ideas into reality. To align your words with your actions is to live with integrity, authenticity, and purpose. It is to become the kind of person whose speech is respected, not because it's clever or eloquent, but because it's true. And in a world full of empty promises and hollow words, this kind of truth is a rare and powerful thing. Final thoughts. Wisdom seekers, we've journeyed through the depths of what it means to speak in a way that commands respect. These 7 strategies are not mere tactics, they're guiding principles rooted in the wisdom of the ages. They are the keys to unlocking a form of communication that transcends superficial charm or fleeting influence. They're about building a foundation of integrity, purpose, and mastery over yourself so that your words echo long after they're spoken. But here's the truth. These strategies will only work if you commit to them. They require practice, patience, and self-awareness. The path to mastering your speech is the same as the path to mastering your life. It's not about perfection, but progress. Each time you pause before speaking, each time you listen deeply, each time you align your words with your actions, you take one step closer to becoming a person whose voice carries W7. The Stoics teach us that respect cannot be forced or demanded. It must be earned through the way we live and communicate. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This wisdom applies not just to our actions, but to our words. Don't talk about the kind of communicator you want to be. Be one. Remember this, words are a reflection of the soul. When your soul is centered, disciplined, and guided by purpose, your speech will naturally follow. People won't just respect what you say, they'll respect who you are. They'll see in you the rare combination of wisdom and humility, clarity and compassion. As you go forth, let the principles of Stoicism guide you. Speak with intention, listen with curiosity, and align your words with your highest values. Respect isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by becoming the kind of person others admire. And so the next time you speak, whether it's in a crowded room, a one-on-one conversation, or even a quiet moment with yourself, remember the timeless wisdom we've explored today. Your words have power. Use them wisely. Thank you, wisdom seekers, for being part of this journey. Until next time, live with purpose, speak with intention, and never stop seeking wisdom.